Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the podcast. It's been a little while, but Cindy's in lockdown at the moment, so we're going to kick things off with some webcam episodes. Today, I'm super duper honored to be joined by very talented producer, the man, Sam TwistedMelodiez. How you going, man? How's your week been?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Good, man. So, what have you been up to this week?
We've been in lockdown, so just like working from home and just staying home, only going out to go like shopping and just like doing some exercise and things like that.
Yeah, sweet, dude. So not too much fun.
Yeah, not fun. No events or anything.
Yeah, fair enough. Have you been active in the studio this week? Anything music related?
I usually go in the studio like late at night when everyone's sleeping.
Cool.
Just working on a few projects at the moment.
Awesome. Anything you can tell us about, or you got to keep it down low at the moment?
I've got a few collabs going on. Like got a collab with Nebula. And,
sick.
Also just working on like sound design. So like quite a lot. I take like some pro tracks and then try and recreate the leads in them, or
that's really cool.
The mix or the kicks or things like that. So
yeah, cool, man.
Spend a lot of time on that.
And tell me, do you find that's a great way to learn, or do you try to like get into the creative zone when you go through that method, or?
Yeah, I think it's a great way to learn, like especially mixing. So like, I like isolate all the sounds bit by bit and then try and replicate them. So if for example, I'm trying to recreate the leads from a track, I'll like isolate the lows and then compare mine to the reference track, try and get it the same, and isolate the mids, then isolate the highs, and also do it in like mono and stereo. So like full mono, full stereo, and just go through the EQ spectrum bit by bit. And I think that helps a lot with the mix as well. Like you can see how they've mixed in the different sounds, like how the chords are mixed in, the bass, the leads, and all that, and like the volumes as well, like how loud each element is.
Right. That's really interesting, man. I think that's some good advice, some tips maybe for upcoming producers. Hey.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, let's start off with your origin story, bro. So, TwistedMelodiez, how did you come up with your name?
So there's not much in the name. Like it was just trying to find something that's unique. So
and a bit hardstyle.
Like in terms of the melodies, like that's probably one of my stronger areas.
Absolutely, dude.
In terms of producing, and then the twisted part, it was just something to try and make the name unique. So like if you go to Google or socials and search the name, like you shouldn't find anything else.
Sweet.
But it's a pretty long name, so might think of rebranding it later.
Fair enough. No, it's good, man. It's unique. As you said, like no one else has got it. And your point is melodies, you're known as that euphoric guy. And I think it's a great way to stand out, really. So that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, thanks.
No worries. And so further into TwistedMelodiez, when did you start getting into the hardstyle scene? Like what year was it or so that TwistedMelodiez came around? And tell me a little bit about the scene at that time, or maybe what got you into the scene.
I got into the scene probably around 2007. So, but I haven't been producing that long. I just started going to like some Happy Heart events around 2007. Like, I think it was Planet Manic from Powerhouse Productions, and it had like the HTID crew. And then after that, started listening to hardstyle. And I've been listening since then, so around 2007 or 2008.
Yeah, right.
And then I got into producing probably about 7 years ago. And I was producing for a few years, and obviously at the start it wasn't that good. But then eventually I made it to the finals in the DEF CON producer comp.
Oh, so nice.
That just like lit the flame to like be inspired to do it more. So
sweet, dude.
From probably started getting decent at producing around 2017. I think that's the time where my name changed to TwistedMelodiez. Before that, it's just like some other random names, aliases.
Yeah.
But yeah, since 2017, the producing's probably been pretty decent.
Sweet,
and just
dude.
try and improve since then.
Yeah, cool. Well, I mean, your SoundCloud is going absolutely off at the moment. Man, your tracks are hitting the #1 spot in the HypeEdit charts. So you're definitely doing well, man, and the crowd's loving it, which is great.
Yeah, cheers. Yeah, I think bootlegs always do well, I think, on HypeEdit, like especially if it's a popular track originally. But yeah, I love HypeEdit. It's just like a way to pull in all the people that listen to your tracks and get them to follow you.
Yeah, so, totally. Great way to build the following. Yeah, that makes sense. And with your bootlegs, tell me, do you have like a process behind it? Like, do you hear maybe, I don't know, a track on the radio and you're like, oh, that would sound great at 150. I can give a good spin on that. Or, I don't know, do you just like find an a cappella on YouTube, or let me know?
I usually try and bootleg a track where I really like the original. So like I try and find like really good tracks, like classics, and just something I really vibe with, and then remake it as a bootleg. So I get people all the time asking me to do bootlegs of these random songs, but I don't really have much time to do like endless bootlegs. So I'm pretty picky with it.
Yeah, you're not taking requests. You're just here to sort out what you like, and that's fair enough, man.
Yeah, and I'm also trying to not do too many because I've done heaps of bootlegs in the past, so I don't want to be just that bootleg guy, you know.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Like the most recent one was J-Lo on the Floor. So yeah, that original's pretty epic. Like just that, the main drop where she's singing that on the floor lyrics.
Yeah, man, one for the ladies too.
Yeah, and if it's a really popular track, like the original track, it'll do really well as a hardstyle bootleg.
Yeah, 100% makes sense.
But if you pick some random unknown original track, like not many people will really be interested in it.
That's true. But yeah, it's a better way to market.
Like, yeah, if it's like a Scooter track or Eiffel 65 or Rihanna or something, it's be instantly popular.
That's it. Everybody knows who they are, and everyone's always keen to hear a hardstyle version of it, eh?
Yeah.
Cool.
And also on HypeEdit, like it's great. You can get people to follow your SoundCloud. You can get them to follow Spotify playlists.
True.
You can get them to follow Instagram, Facebook. So yeah, I always find that's helpful to grow your following.
100%. Yeah, couldn't agree more.
So, and I usually leave it optional. Like people can choose to follow those social pages or Spotify if they want, but then they can skip it as well.
Do you make people leave the old cheeky comment? I notice that whenever I do that, you get the odd person that's just like, I have to comment. What the heck? And it's just like, come on, man, I'm giving you a free track. The least you can do is write a little something like.
But for HypeEdit, I make all the SoundCloud ones mandatory. Like, that's the only thing I make mandatory. Like, they have to follow SoundCloud, leave a comment, like it, and repost it.
Yeah.
Because I've rarely ever seen any comments of people complaining. Like,
good.
I don't think anybody is bothered by it for me.
Must be my audience then. Freaking whingy bunch. I don't know.
But the other socials, I usually put a few more optional socials on the gate.
Cool. That makes sense.
I found it helps a lot.
And tell me what.
I don't capture email because I'm never going to send emails out. So
I feel that. I'm the same.
That's a bit overstepping it to ask for their email.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now, tell me, what got you into like the hardstyle scene? You know, were you listening to a particular artist? Was there a certain track or an album that you heard and you were like, I got to do something like this? Tell me, do you remember just looking back to all those years, what got you into the scene and the kind of music?
Yeah, so I was listening to Happy Hard first, and then there was a rave coming up where Headhunters was playing. So
sick.
I didn't really know hardstyle at the time, so I just wanted to listen to all of his tracks just so I was familiar with it. So then that would have been like around the time where it was like Rock Civilization and Scantraxx Roots, like those type of tracks. Yeah. So then, those were really sick tracks. So I just started getting more and more of those tracks and it went from there. So I've been listening to hardstyle ever since.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. That makes sense. The good old Project One Day is about, hey.
Yeah.
Cool.
And like I've also been to like all the DEF CONs since they started. So yeah, I've been into the scene a long time, and I think with gigs, obviously after I started making some decent tracks in 2017, then just started to take an interest in playing gigs as well. Awesome, so I've been getting some decent gigs since then.
Yeah, sweet. Do you remember your first gig and when that was?
My first gig is TwistedMelodiez. I think it was just like at some random EDM small event.
That's all right.
I don't even know the name of it, but
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, just a few other small events, and then I think I started playing massive in 2018, late 2018.
Cool, exciting. And tell me, what was your favorite gig that you've ever played at?
I think there was like a Gearbox night where they had a few internationals, and I was playing at that one. Like they had Thyron and a few others from the Gearbox label. So that was so packed. But more recently, the Massive Wars event was crazy. It's like during the time where you can't have internationals, so it's a local only event, but it was packed from the start. Like, so that was like a main stage set, and like half an hour after the doors opened, it was really full, like an internationals night. So
that's awesome, dude. That's
good. Yeah, that was wicked.
Yeah, right. You're part of Green Team, hey? That reminds me of the hard bass events.
yeah, Team Green.
Fun times.
Yeah, that was the best night.
Good to hear. Now, let's talk a little bit about you and your label releases. So at the moment, you're signed with Fusion, is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. I've had 2 tracks with them. I haven't really got any other finished tracks yet. But yeah, before that, I also had a track on Gearbox Euphoria and Vintage Records when it was around, and a few of like the Will Sparks labels, like
cool.
Just like some remixes and an original as well, I think.
Sweet, dude. And tell me, what is it like being part of the Fusion family? Because I know Fusion has been around for such a long time. There's such a iconic brand and label. Tell me a little bit about your experience with Fusion.
It's good to be like part of that label, because it's a well-known brand, like you said. I think definitely at the moment it's not what it used to be. It's more like a upcoming talent label rather than a main label. And I think they'd be aware of that as well. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's got good reach, I guess.
Yeah, 100%, dude. They got a great, great appearance, great aesthetic to them, and they've got that rich history.
Yeah, there just aren't any of those like really big names left on it though.
Fair enough. Everyone's kind of moving on.
Does a release, but yeah,
that's cool.
But still, it's cool as like something like in between till I get to the next level.
Yeah, 100%, dude. No, I think it's a great, great stepping stone and a great milestone in your career. Absolutely, dude. Now, let's talk a little bit more about production and maybe just some tips that you'd like to give out to any newcomers. You know, like a lot of people are looking for advice as to how to go about starting a track. So tell me, what would you suggest to someone who's just, starting production and they don't know where to begin?
I think definitely watch a lot of YouTube tutorials. So I remember when I was starting out, I was like for years just like watching YouTube tutorials while I was trying to learn as well. So just depending on which door you have, just to find specific tutorials and hardstyle ones as well. A lot of that. And then as you get to know the door more, just I think having a reference track's really useful. So you can see what the structure of the track's like.
100%.
For pro tracks, and to see how loud it is when it's mastered, and to see like what to put in the track as well. And I think there's heaps of like sample tracks and tutorials out there as well, like masterclasses. and I think they're worth getting as well. I would also say, like, if you're struggling with like making kicks at the start, just use like some kicks from a sample pack, and then
100%.
develop your sounds first. Like it'd be a shame to get stuck on not going forward because you can't make a kick properly. Because pro kicks are really hard to make. So I'd probably just recommend starting out with sampled kicks, and then over time you can like work on making your own as well.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
There's a lot to learn apart from that.
That's it. That's very true. I feel like a lot of people get stuck on the whole idea or notion of they have to start from scratch. They have to make their own original kicks. But then they spend maybe, I don't know, like a month or two before you know it, half a year's gone by, and they haven't even nailed how to structure a whole track properly and, you know, doing mix down and levels and stuff like that. Yeah, that's some great advice.
Yeah, I think, and every time you finish a track and release it, like it just helps you grow more and more and learn more. So I think, and even if you're using like sample kicks, you can still just like have it as like a private track or
exactly,
just like a learning experience. Like you don't have to actually like submit it to labels straight away.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think just like spend as much time as you can in the studio and don't give up. And just also just network with other producers, especially if it's in your area, like in the same city, can be helpful too, because then you can have people to like bounce your ideas off and get feedback on your tracks.
100%, dude. Now, let's talk a little bit about DJing. Tommy, did you get into production first or DJing first?
Actually, DJing first for a little bit. So before I was producing, I did have a go at DJing just for like a year or two.
Yeah.
So I know the basics of it. But then I just had a break from that because like when I started producing, I was like, I just want to focus on producing for now.
That makes sense.
And then get back to DJing later on.
Cool. And how did you go about picking up DJing? Did you just jump in behind the decks, hit some buttons, or did you watch YouTube videos or do a course?
I bought a pair of CDJs back then, and then just like went to use it straight away, and I don't know, just like learned by doing it. I didn't really watch any tutorials.
Yeah, cool. So you're more like a hands-on guy, just jump in and do it, figure it out.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I sold those decks a while ago, so I don't actually have any at home. I just, but I know probably how to mix and everything.
Yeah, totally. You don't need it.
So, yeah. Would be nice to have some though, like some of those like XDJs or something.
Yeah, or you know, do the old live stream when you're at home. Jump on the Twitch as everyone's doing, like.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Now, what are your thoughts on, I guess, social media and marketing? I mean, like we all know it's quite important. Do you feel that Instagram, you know, is where people should focus a lot of their attention, or Facebook? Tell me, what are some maybe marketing strategies to someone just starting out? What would you suggest?
I think definitely Instagram and Facebook are really important, and I think like you should be active on those as much as you can. Obviously, if you don't have anything like posting, then you don't have to. But like, yeah, it's good to build up a following on those two mainly. YouTube can also be good as well. Like if you've got some like music videos or tutorials or something. What else? I think TikTok's also like an upcoming one that's starting to grow in popularity, especially with the younger age group. So
yeah, totally.
That one you need to make like engaging videos for that. Like I think for hardstyle it's mainly like people doing hacks and and muzzing that gets popular.
Yeah.
Or like just comedy style videos.
True.
So it's a bit hard for me because I don't really have any of those videos, but I think it's definitely one platform to be active on as well if you can.
Yeah. Now I know you're a dad, so you got kids at home, man. You can just do the cheeky like film your kid up, Maybe get them to do a dance or something. There you go. You're on TikTok. Like,
Yeah, I've got 2 young kids, and my 7-year-old, she's pretty good at like making TikTok videos.
oh wow.
Maybe I can get her to create some for me.
Yeah, sweet, dude. She's gonna become TikTok famous before you are, maybe, or she'll just carry you. Like,
yeah, that's it.
no, that's cool. Tell me, what's it like being a dad and juggling the whole production life and your work life? Like, you know, do you are you coping, man, or do you have any advice for people?
It's definitely very time consuming. Like, I work full time during the week, and then outside of that, most of my time is pretty much just looking after my family as well.
Makes sense.
So it's rewarding to have kids, but probably the only time I can produce is when they're asleep, or if I chuck a ciggy from work, or there might be some time here and there where I can produce, but yeah, you probably have to sacrifice some sleep in order to get production done.
Makes sense, dude. Well, you seem to be coping pretty well.
Yeah, cheers.
Let's also move on to some questions from the audience, from the fans. Now, the first one is going to be coming from old mate Chris Blocker. Shout out Blocker. Why have you got the longest DJ name? bit of a funny question there.
Yeah. Cheers, Blocker. Yeah, I think he calls me TMZ now, just for short.
That's pretty clever too.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, jokes aside, it's a fair question. It's a pretty long name. I've been thinking about changing it to a short name for a while, like a brand new name. So I'll probably rebrand to to a new name once I've got some new tracks.
Fair enough.
So if you guys have any ideas for a new name, just one word, just send it to my inbox. Let me know.
Yeah. Do you have any ideas yourself at the moment? Like anything you can throw out to us?
I was thinking Absolved, like ABSOLVD.
Oh yeah,
like a short name.
Yeah.
It could be something like that, but I just need to brainstorm a bit more.
Yeah, fair. TMZ isn't too bad as well. I'd keep that in mind.
Yeah. Although there's like a US TV show or something called TMZ, like a gossip website or something. So I don't know. I try
maybe not.
It, like truly unique.
Yeah. Fair enough. That is tricky. No, cool, man. The next question comes from Wills. What is your favorite country and why is it Brazil? Bit of a cheeky one.
Yeah. I think it's like a personal joke, but a while ago, him and Andrew were just starting to say, like, "Oh, come to Brazil. I'll book you to plane to Brazil." So I don't know where the Brazil part came from because I'm not Brazilian.
Right.
But I just went with it anyway. I might make a track about Brazil just to capitalize on it.
Yeah, man. Before you know it, you might be playing in DEF CON Chile or something like that. Like,
yeah.
Next question. This one comes from Will's again. Sorry, Will's second question. What is your favorite or most common key that you produce and write songs in?
Ooh, good question. I think mainly F. So like the hardstyle kick sounds good when it's played in F, or E or G, like just the notes around it. I find if you start higher up, like if you start on a C, it just doesn't have the same power as
just that drive
down low around that F area. So yeah, probably F's the ideal one, I think.
Cool, man. That's interesting. Next question from Ben. How do you come up with melodies, or do you have a process?
Yeah, I think there's like two parts to the answer. Like for me personally, most of the time it just appears in my head. So like the melodies will just come to me and I'll just like take them down into the project if I'm on the computer. Or
that's cool. So you can hear them first.
Yeah. Awesome. They just appear. Or if I'm out and about, I'll get out the voice recorder on my phone and just hum them in, and then get them into the computer later, because otherwise I'll forget them.
I feel that.
The other part of the answer, if you're asking like how do people in general, how can they come up with melodies? So if it doesn't just appear in your head, then I'd probably start with like a bass line. So just come up with like a simple bass line for 8 bars, and then add chords to that, chords that matches the bass line. And then just like add a melody that goes around those chord notes as well.
Cool.
And you can get inspiration from like top 40 songs or like hardstyle or whatever. But I think that's, if you're struggling to come up with something, probably just start with the bass line and go from there.
Cool. That's some good advice. Next track coming from our boy Ben Firelight. Shout out to Firelight. What is your favorite euphoric classic?
Ooh, there's so many. There's like that era around 2009 to 2012.
Maybe if you could pick 3 or so.
I'd probably pick The World of Madness, like the Defcon 2012 anthem by Wildstyle's Heady and Noise Controllers. And also their track Tonight. Yeah, whenever those guys collab, it's a pretty crazy track.
That was a huge track, absolutely.
And Headhunter's Scrap Attack, just like the classic.
Yeah, sweet, dude. I love it. Love the classics right there. All right. Yeah. Last question comes from our boy Blanchard. Shout out to Blanchard. What are your thoughts on the Rawphoric genre or subgenre?
I love it. I think it like brings together the best of both worlds from euphoric and rawphoric.
Yeah.
Like the really hard-hitting raw kicks and epic melodies from like the euphoric side. So I noticed it's like growing a lot in the last few years, because if you go back like 5 years, there probably wasn't much rawphoric. It's just like either like truly euphoric or full-on raw. So
yeah, there was a little bit of division there for a bit.
Yeah, but no, I love it. I think I try and also make rawphoric sounds as well, although I can struggle a bit getting the raw sounds in there. So it usually ends up a bit cheesy.
That's all right.
But I love the rawphoric sound. It's my favorite out of like all the subgenres.
Sweet, dude. Awesome to hear. Now, that's it for the questions, and wrapping up the show, let's talk a little bit about you personally, man, and also what you've got for us to look forward to. So, starting off with, I guess, the rest of the year, tell us, do you have anything planned, anything we can expect from you?
Yeah, so there's the lockdown at the moment, so that made some events get postponed. So I was almost playing at the massive Sub-Zero Projects event until the lockdown happened. So I think that's coming up towards the end of July.
Yep.
As long as it doesn't get postponed again. But yeah, that one will be huge. Yeah, the Sub-Zero Project virtual DJ set. So that should be like a packed event.
Good time.
So yeah, really keen for that. I think there'll probably be some other gigs, but they would be postponed as well, probably. I've also got a release coming out on Dematic's label, so it's just like a remix of his track.
Oh, sweet.
He showed me his original. It's a track called I forgot the track name. No, it's just
right.
In Your Dreams, I think. In Your Dreams or something.
All right, sweet.
Yeah,
we'll keep an eye out.
Yeah, it's just like this. It's got this cheesy anthem vibe to it, but I think it works really well as a hardstyle track. So
awesome.
Yeah, that's coming out in August. There's probably not a lot release-wise that will come out this year, because it usually takes a few months from when you submit a track to when it's released.
Yeah, totally.
But probably aim for next year to try and get on like a bigger label and just like have some better releases and improve my sounds.
Fair enough, dude. Do you have any labels in particular in mind that you're aiming for?
It'd be cool to get on Dirty Works copyright free. So
100%.
But I haven't got any finished tracks right now, so I just need to get some good tracks finished and then start submitting them.
Yeah, makes sense.
But yeah, just I'm trying to be like aiming for one of the big ones like that, or maybe like the Prospects label, the Scantrax one, or
yeah, awesome, dude.
Yeah, I think that's what I'd be aiming for.
Cool. Well, fingers crossed for you, man. Now, a little bit about you personally. So you mentioned earlier that you work full time. What do you do for work again?
So I'm just like an analyst for one of the banks. So yeah, just mainly on the computer all day, and yeah, so I can work from home normally, just like Monday to Friday.
Cool. That's probably why you're so good at your marketing, eh?
Yeah. I think marketing's important in music, so
absolutely,
almost as important as the actual music.
100%. And tell us, do you have any hobbies, or are you watching anything on Netflix at the moment, man?
I mainly spend any spare time that I can on music. So apart from that, probably just like meet up with family and friends and just like go out to eat or something.
Cool.
I don't really have much other hobbies apart from music. On Netflix, no, not really watching much Netflix at the moment, but I probably will during this lockdown. Probably start watching some more stuff.
Yeah, fair, but otherwise it's all in the studio, eh?
Yeah.
That's it. Fair enough, dude. Now, wrapping up the show, I like to give all my guests the opportunity to give out some shout-outs. So if you got any shout-outs, man, go for it.
Shout out. I want to shout out to the Melbourne crew. Like, I chat to the Melbourne guys quite often, like Nebula, Hunter, Symmetry, BLN.
Awesome.
Horseplay, Overdrive. Shout out. And just like, yeah, to Dramatic as well for the upcoming release. Like, cheers for that opportunity. And yeah, to all the event promoters, like just think it's worth thanking them for being persistent and like having to go through the lockdown and keep positive and keep looking forward to events that come up. So yeah, thanks for everyone that has booked me recently, even like the Cube nightclub Canberra event recently. That was really awesome. So thanks to the promoters.
Awesome, dude. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast, man. It was great to get your origin story and to get to know you better. Everybody, this is Twisted Melodies. Thanks for being on, bro.
Yo, cheers. Thanks.